March 21st of this year, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission that licenses and regulates nuclear power plants, including Vermont Yankee, issued Vermont Yankee a new 20-year extended license. Our original 40-year operating license expires on March 21st of 2012. And that was after a 5-year exhaustive review by the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, by other agencies. There were interventions by groups, including the New England Coalition, who filed contentions about various aspects of license renewal. The state of Vermont also had issues and contentions, but after 62 months of reviews and approximately 30,000 hours of physical inspections at Vermont Yankee and study, the NRC issued us a renewed license. And for about that period of time, we have also been working and negotiating with the state of Vermont, because in the state of Vermont, when Entergy purchased Vermont Yankee in 2002, we signed a certificate of public good with the Vermont Public Service Board and agreed that we would seek a certificate of public good to renew the license of the facility as well as our federal license. And unfortunately, we were not able to negotiate that successfully and get to a certificate of public good with the state of Vermont. So again, March 21st of this year, we received a new extended 20-year license from the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and then on April 18th, as most people are aware, we filed suit in U.S. District Court in Burlington against the state of Vermont on federal preemption claims because we were unable to obtain a certificate of public good. And the claim is that we have federal jurisdiction and supremacy to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. And on that note, we go to court on what's called the trial on the merits of our case, and that is in Brattleboro, U.S. District Court, at the Federal Building, the Post Office, September 12th, 13th, and 14th. And at some point, approximately, I would think a month's time, Judge J. Garvin Murtha will make his ruling, and whether that is in our favor or against, I'm certain there will be an appeal. So then the case would most likely move to the appellate court in New York City, and depending on the outcome there, it could go to the United States Supreme Court. So that's where we are in terms of logistics. Meanwhile, the plant is in its 285th day of continuous safe operation at 100% power. We're getting ready for a refueling outage, and I think, again, there's been a lot of Vermont Yankee news lately, but the owners of Vermont Yankee and the board of directors of the Entergy Corporation in New Orleans did agree about a month ago to move forward with the scheduled refueling of the plant and ordering fuel. So our refueling outage is upcoming. It starts October 8th, and it's on schedule. That's when we refuel the reactor, change about a third of the nuclear fuel, 120 bundles of fuel, and perform about 5,000 individual tasks during the several weeks outage. And it's approximately 800 to 1,000 extra employees, many from other Entergy facilities across the country, that come in to support the outage and get us back on track for starting the plant up in early November. Good economic boost. It's about $1 million to $1.5 million for the local economy, for contractors staying in the area, eating in local restaurants, motels, hotels, using other services, and refueling is something that we do every 18 months. So that's what's going on at Vermont Yankee. There's been some issues in the news quite recently about strontium-90 that was detected in the edible portion of fish. Now, Vermont Yankee, as part of our license requirements for over 39 years, we have to do environmental monitoring and sampling, and that's of water, of fish in the river, milk from area farms, etc. The state also does its own testing. So this was a fish sample that was taken about 9 miles north of Vermont Yankee in Brattleboro, and the sample that was tested by the state of Vermont showed positive for strontium-90 in the edible portion of a fish. Same sample of a fish taken in back of Vermont Yankee did not show strontium-90. So that's been in the news, and strontium-90 is it's naturally in the environment, mostly from nuclear weapons testing in the 1950s, 60s, 70s. China had an above-ground nuclear test in the 1980s, and of course, the unfortunate accident in Chernobyl released strontium-90 in 1986. So 99% of strontium-90 comes from the environment. It didn't come from Vermont Yankee. And as we said in a statement that I issued about a month ago, the only radionuclide we have ever found in groundwater and our tritium leak at Vermont Yankee was tritium. And we continue to do tritium remediation. We've thus far pumped 335,000 gallons of tritiated water and have it trucked off-site to a disposal facility in another part of the country. So we have not found strontium-90 anywhere other than what is legally released by the plant through our 300-foot stack. And that last strontium-90 release was, I think, 2005 or 2006, nothing since then. Tritium has been in the news. Again, we continue to extract tritium from our tritium leak from 2010. But the state also, the state health department, had a sample that detected for the first time tritium in the Connecticut River. Our split sample did not. So again, we have a disagreement with the methodology used in testing between Vermont Yankee and the state health department, and we maintain our samples continue to not show any detectable level of tritium in the Connecticut River. So those are the issues that really have been in the limelight and I think in the media lately. You pick up the paper most days and there's something about Vermont Yankee or Entergy in it, but interesting to note, we in 2011 conducted our own poll of voters, and it was 45% that favored the continued operation of Vermont Yankee. 41 were opposed. The Doyle poll taken at town meeting this year, identical results of 15,000 registered voters who went to town meeting. 45% in favor of continued operation of the plant, 41 opposed. And another public policy group did what's called robo-calling of about 1,200 Vermonters, voters. And again, the same breakdown, 45 in favor of continued operation, 41 opposed. Not a majority, but a plurality. And that has been constant for the last couple of years. So while there may be opposition in some quarters to the operation of Vermont Yankee, a plurality of Vermonters in 3 completely distinct and different surveys have indicated their support for the continued operation of the plant, which economically, as you know, there's 650 employees at the plant. About 300 of them are from Vermont. The rest are pretty much split between New Hampshire and Massachusetts. That means $100 million to the Vermont economy every single year that we operate, or $2 billion over the next 20 years. It's about $15 million in direct tax payments to the state of Vermont. And our employees, on average, their annual income is an average of about $100,000 a year. And they're very involved in community activities and local groups. We support the United Way, our charitable contributions committee, which is entirely run by employees, donates about $300,000 every year to 100 local nonprofit organizations. So we continue to make contributions besides the fact when we're generating electricity, we're not releasing greenhouse gases into the environment. So it's a clean source of electricity. So we think there are merits to the continued operation of Vermont Yankee. And again, we have a new federal license, and we're just going to have to see how our suit in federal court plays out. But our plan is to be in Vermont's future and operate the plant for another 20 years. And hopefully that operation will be upheld by the courts.